They gonna love me for my ambition.
Woo! Shout out to everybody out in the world. This is Sound from Club Ambition Podcast, CAP, episode 74. And this week, very, very special guest and very special episode. We got Marlon in the building, producing, holding it down, one half of the Chubb Corner. And this week, we have a special friend of ours, longtime friend, longtime person in our lives, and someone that we've had our even momentarily differences with and just miscommunication and disconnected with for years. But he was one of the people, whenever we mentioned like the start of this channel and the creation of the idea of just getting together to listen to music together, it was one of his houses, one of the places that we would actually get together. One of the locations was one of his houses, at his house, at his basement, or inside of his living room, or him just being with us in general in the cars where we would listen to albums together. It was this gentleman sitting to the right of me that was a part of that, in the beginning prior to it being on camera, so he has, definitely history with me, Marlon. So it was pretty cool to have him in here. It was like a full, 180 moment. Like, okay, look at us now. How many years later? 7, 8 years later now?
Because we met. So I met Marlon in 7th grade when I was at Bridgham.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that.
I met Noel first, yeah.
Yeah, so
that
was
is true.
Yeah, and then I met you guys in Green when Bridgham shut down. So it's like school is 4. We graduate 2016, it's 2023. So 4 plus the 1, that's 5.
Yeah.
It's 6 with you. And then
some long ass math.
Wait, 6 plus 7. So that's 13 years with you, 14 with him.
Wow. Yeah, so over a decade.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That long? Are you sure?
I swear to God.
Hold up. You might get that math wrong.
Let's check. All right. So I
7th grade with you.
When I was 10 years old? Wait, I mean 12? Wait, no.
Yo, think about it.
I've known this since 2010 because that's when I came back from Guat, and I was in 7th grade then. So
that's 13
years. That's 13. So it's 12 with you guys. Never mind. 13 and 12.
Okay.
Still over a decade, yeah.
Okay, still over a decade in, So, yeah, man, so get straight to it. If you guys see the title by now, because I'm probably going to title it, obviously, relating to the concept to, get to the point in the topic. He is a friend of mine, Noel, and this is a friend of mine that has attempted suicide multiple times, and he has survived. And we wanted to have him in the studio today to discuss this and share his story, because I think it could be very powerful, very important, and also powerful to millions of people, to be honest. Thousands, but to be honest, also the whole world. Because I feel like mental health and depression and suicide are something that we all face, especially when it comes to this brand and this channel. We've gotten thousands of DMs and thousands of messages. We've talked to kids in person. We've had phone calls with kids who have said that our content has helped them through suicide, through, depression. We've saved their lives, literally verbatim. I've had emotional, crying conversations with kids. So I think it's very, 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 instrumental to do this and have an episode covering this. So I wanted to have Noel Frias, my friend, who has gone through this as a living example, to share his story and document it with everyone. And for those who don't know why, or are wondering why Erlen Mindset's not here in the studio, he said it was very, very, he said, first of all, he gave me the permission to obviously say it publicly, but he said that he's gone through this situation where the friend who unfortunately committed suicide, so he did not want to be here because it was triggered. It was a triggering conversation, sensitive for him. So we also want to give a trigger warning. If this conversation might be sensitive for you out there, anybody listening, anybody watching, feel free to, not watch, not listen. But that's your warning, and definitely for those who are interested, get ready to listen, and watch. So let's start from wherever you want to start, Noel. To be honest, I know you have a very, very interesting story, and your way around, a conversation. You love talking, so I'll let you have the floor.
All right. So first, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate you guys. I just want it to be known, it's not easy to come up here and talk about this type of thing. Having this type of conversation when you have dealt with this situation for so long, it takes a lot of growth. It takes to be at a certain place. And, you know, when I told my other friends, I'm like, hey, I'm going to do this. They're like, are you sure? Like, are you ready for that? Can you handle it? I'm like, nah, I think I can. Like, I think I can have this conversation and not hold back and be honest about everything that I did and everything that was done to me and you know, not have any animosity or any frustrations and just be accepting of what life has given to me so far. So I feel like the best thing to do in this situation is to explain what condition I have and then to speak on kind of my life and briefly give, you know, that story. So when it comes to my condition, because a lot of people talk about suicide and suicide doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to wake up and just be like, yo, I'm going to go kill myself. Like, there's a lot of things that have to happen. There's things that can be happening in the background that you don't know about that's leading to these things to happen. In my case, I have borderline personality disorder. That's one of the conditions. With borderline, we're talking about, you know, you're having episodes where you're having mood swings during the day, and these mood swings can now last for a couple of days. You're having attachment issues. You can't watch people leave your life, and it destroys you when it happens. You're having issues of rage. You have sudden rage. You do risk taking. It's a bunch of stuff like that. Your personality shifts. So like you can be like literally sitting there chilling, and then something triggers you, and now you're fighting. Mm-hmm. Like it's just that simple with borderline. It's the shifting of personalities. So I have a personality disorder, and then the other thing that's kicking my ass every day as well, but I'm fighting back against it, is my bipolar disorder. So bipolar kind of mirrors it. You know, they have many similarities, but they do have their significant differences. So my mood swings, so my mood swings with my bipolar isn't for a couple of days. Now that's just for weeks. I'm on it for months. I'm like with the shits. I'm running around. I remember, I used to go to the gym 5 hours a day.
Wow. Just
straight pumping it off manic energy, just going hard as I can. And that would last an entire summer. I had crazy sex drive. Your sex drive is egregious when you have bipolar disorder. I'm talking about like, I wanted to fuck anything or anything. I almost like slept with prostitutes. I almost paid for prostitutes because that's how desperate I was to have sex.
Jesus.
And like, I wanted to take so many risks. I used to drive down the highway 110. I ghost whipped my whip on I-95 South. I've never told somebody this story. I got on top of the blue Honda. This is when I had the blue Honda Fit before it got crashed. I ghost whipped it in the middle of the night, going like 90, 100. I didn't give a fuck. I'm so glad I didn't die. And it's because I was in the moment. Fuck it. It is what it is. Like I was living that moment. You get addicted when you have bipolar disorder because you're addicted to that manic high. I was an alcoholic. I was drinking every fucking day. I was drinking just to drink. I was drinking just to feel that feeling like, yo, when you're manic, it's like you're with God. You're just elevated. You're running through the motions. You're just all over the place. And it's funny. I'm going to come back to this when I'm telling my story because it's going to be real interesting, especially why we ended up falling out as friends for that long period of time. It relates back to this. And just niggas just didn't know. And, you know, with that manic energy is so dangerous because I've heard stories of people getting addicted to cocaine, getting addicted to speed, getting addicted to Molly, getting addicted to fent. Like you just get addicted to so many things to try to recreate that manic high. There was that NBA player that played with LeBron on the Heat. I think he dated his mom. And
Delonte West?
Yeah, and you know, he became an addict. And people were like, oh, why did he become an addict? Because he was bipolar.
I think it was the Cavs. Might have been the Cavs.
Might have been the Cavs, yeah. And it's like, oh, so why does bipolar correlate to addiction? Because you're trying to recreate that moment, that sensation that feels better than anything else. And you know, you have a crazy God complex. You think you hot shit. Oh my God, you think you the greatest nigga in the world. Yo, my nigga, the rants I be letting off in my crib when I'm manic is crazy. I be thinking I'm hot as shit in the world. My friends, they live to check me and to humble me down. It's not as bad now as it was like 2-3 years ago, but it used to be terrible. And then, yo, it's so sad. You feel like you're reaching the sun and then you just fucking crash. And the mania goes away, and the energy goes away, and all you have left is the manic crash and the depression. You're in a hole. There was weeks I didn't get out of bed. Months. I felt like I was going to die. And that's when the suicidal part comes in. Now imagine you have that kicking your ass. And then you have the personality disorder kicking your ass too. Now imagine they decide to link one day for about 2-3 weeks and they're just whooping your ass consistently. It's like a tornado you can never get out of. It's a cycle that never ends. You think you finally got over one hump and then the other thing hits you with something else. And it's so defeating because you're like, damn, like, why am I even here? And the reason why I need to explain my conditions is because too many people focus too much on depression. They focus too much on suicide. And I'm like, the DSM-5 is about 1,000 pages long. That's every diagnosed mental health condition that exists. Why in God's fucking name do you keep bringing up depression and suicide to me? Like, there's people out here with other shit too. I got niggas with crazy anxiety. Because of my bipolar, I have insane anxiety. Yo, I couldn't get out of my car. I couldn't leave my house. Niggas would call me. If I missed a call, I'm not calling you back. It took me 2 hours to get out of my car to go to a job interview. Like, that anxiety shit is real. And it's not just anxiety. It's not just depression. It's not just ADHD. Those are the common ones that everyone suits up. Like, I've seen severe cases of OCD where people are trapped in a routine. People who literally have to take 100 steps to get to the door. And if they don't take those exact 100 steps, they're going to have to redo it. And they redo it for hours until they get it right. Imagine living a life like that. Like, I've met so many skits. There's people in this city that have become schizophrenic suddenly. And we just don't talk about them. We threw them away.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, they just lost it. No, nigga, they didn't fucking lose it. That's not what you do to people. Because that's what niggas was saying about me. Oh, he just lost it. I didn't just fucking lose it, bro. Because if I was just depressed and then I came up and be like, oh, he just overcame his depression. So the niggas who have to overcome the other conditions is just, oh, they lost it. That's it. They're sick. Who cares? So, and I know when I tried to kill myself publicly, there was mad confusion. No one understood why. And some people who knew me understood why, and then other people who didn't know me didn't have full understanding of what was going on. So I feel like the only way, and when Vic came to me, he's like, I want us to talk about that, what happened at the mall. I was like, I'm willing to do that, but I got to tell the story, how it is, the full story. Because it didn't just start that year. It didn't start the year before. It's been a long time, and you guys know this. When I want to kill myself back in high school, and you niggas was waiting for me outside of Miss Bess's door. Like, y'all were there. It was you, Eric, Marloon, and freaking Erlin. You guys were literally waiting for me to get out. Like, there was something going on in the background. There was things that I was enduring that I just wasn't speaking on. I was 14, 15, taking shit to the chin that I've been taking since I was 5. My earliest memories is just pure pain. And I'm going to explain why. So, with bipolar disorder, and this is where my story starts, with bipolar disorder and borderline, you inherit that. Borderline, you can get it through trauma. Bipolar disorder, most likely, it's a gene thing. You get it from somebody else. I got it from my mother. My mother has borderline and she has bipolar disorder. She's been diagnosed. She refuses to get treatment. Now, when you hear that, you think, oh, that stinks. You don't understand how terrible that is. My first memory was when I was 5. And my mom, she had adopted my cousin on her side. It was her brother's daughter. My mom had a manic episode, or she had a borderline rage. I don't know which one it was. I can't remember. I don't know how she was that week. I couldn't be able to tell you. But a rage hit her. She cracked my cousin's skull open. She was bleeding everywhere. My mom took her and put her in the corner and made her just sit there while she bleeding. The next day, my cousin told the West End rec, the people who worked there, what was going on. They pulled me and my sister in for questioning. The next day, DCYF is at my house. Niggas is bugging, saying they want to take us away. My mom's going in and out of court, fighting the assault charges on my cousin and trying to keep me and my sister. I'm stressed because I'm like, damn, I don't want to leave my mom. Because at the moment, I love my mother. I love her a lot. So I'm like, damn, like I don't want them to split up my family. She ended up beating it, luckily, and it was funny because my grandfather and my grandmother, her parents, were helping my cousin and DCYF screw over my mom. And it was a lot at the time. And it's crazy that's the earliest memory you have of your mother, is her smashing someone's head in. But it was such a testament to what my existence and what her role in me and my sister's life would be. Because it didn't stop from there. Oh, my mom kept it going. She didn't learn her lesson. My mom used to beat me so bad, and my sister so bad, like so bad. Niggas would have scars, marks, and like, I remember I got in trouble in school, and I didn't want to go home because they called my mom. And I'm in the fucking like bathroom stall, locked in. And I'm like, I'm not going home. And the guy who picks us up to go to the West End Rec is like, yo, you gotta come, bro. Like, I gotta get you over there. And I'm like, no, if I do, my mom's gonna like fuck me up. This happened later on, that brought even more problems to my mom. Because then the teacher had to have conferences with my mom. And she's like, why is your son telling people that you're beating the shit out of him? It's because she is, nigga. And when the teacher asked me, I'm like, I don't know. And here's the thing, and for the people at home, like, damn, like, where's your dad? Oh, my dad was there. That nigga didn't give a flying fuck. That nigga didn't care at all. That nigga, the only time I ever seen my father in my life was when he came home after work and just chilled there. Or he was fighting with my mom. Yo, my dad let my mom bitch him so bad. And this is the thing. Let me word that better, because I don't want people to be like, oh, you're not being politically correct. Because he was a victim of abuse. My mom was domestically abusing him. Like, I think the second youngest memory I have of my mom is her being mad, like enraged at a party because he bought her an expensive gift and she thought it was too much, and she started fucking him up in front of my friends. Bro, I was like 6. I got memories of my mom beating on me in front of my friends. I got memories of my mom beating my dad in front of me. My mom was a villain for real. And when I was in school, I started acting up. And anybody who went to Alfred Lehman will tell you, I was a wild kid, wild as fuck, always getting in trouble, banging my head against the locker, acting up. And I was at the school psychiatrist for about the last 4 years I was at Alfred Lima. And they used to always say, you know, what's wrong with Noel? Little did they fucking know. All I was doing was replicating the shit I saw at home. So I'm already wilding out. I'm a bad kid. I'm losing it. My mom noticed that shit fast. And I never seen somebody resolve a problem so quickly. She beat the living daylights out of me, locked me in the crib and told me I can't go nowhere if she don't know where I'm at. I can't be out this late, because we lived in South Providence. I used to be in Sackett Park with a bunch of niggas just chilling. She shut that shit down so fast. She said, nah, you can't do that. It's as if she knew I would be a problem child for her. So she said, no, you're going to be in homes. I'm going to watch you. I'm going to make sure when I come home, you're here and I'm watching you. And if I'm not here, then your sister's watching you. And she just shut that shit down completely. And the only friends I had were the people who lived downstairs. That's how she treated me. And if I ever acted up, she beat the dog shit out of me. Now, this is where this story gets chaotic. Now, I guess living the life she was living started to catch up to her, because she's not medicated. She's trying to buy real estate property with my dad, owning apartments. And it's not working because she's mentally unstable and he's lazy. So they're fighting back and forth. Bro, ironically, this is the 4th worst day of my life. I came home. No, she picked me up from school. I was about 10 or 11. We in the car. She's telling me, oh, this is when we moved into the house I live in now. And when we bought the house, I hated it. I liked it at first because I'm like, yo, I can finally go up. It was a joke we used to have. I can go upstairs and I'm not in someone else's apartment. But the sacrifices that I had to go through emotionally to even be able to live there was just never worth it, because they used to always fight over the mortgage. They almost lost that house so many times. They could have never afforded it. They bought it 3 months before the market crashed in '08. That value dropped drastically. And me and my sister felt it. And because there was just so much abuse and trauma because of it. So I remember she's driving home. She's hot. They're trying to fix up one of the apartments they had bought. They ain't making no bread. Niggas is down bad. And she tells me, she starts showing me marks. Because this is the thing about this condition. You start manipulating people. You start lying to be a victim. I remember because I did the same thing. We're going to get to that. So she tells me, oh, look at these things your dad did to me. He beat me. Look at the type of man he is. Bro, I'm 10. Why are you telling your son that his fucking father's beating you? Mind you, he didn't. My sister later on told me it was cap. And she's like saying all these things to like rattle me up, and cause she's rattled up. And I get home, my nigga, I'm about to start doing homework. I'm 10, bro, mind you. Shorty grabs this cup with some shit in it, and she's like, I'm gonna kill myself. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna just kill myself. I can't be here no more. I can't do this no more. And I'm crying. I'm like, yo, like, chill. And I'm trying to call my sister. She won't pick up her cell phone. I'm calling my dad. He won't pick up. I'm calling my grandfather. He won't pick up. No one's picking up. And she's saying she's gonna kill herself. And I'm like, please don't do it. I love you. And she's like, but I don't love you. So,
Take your time, bro.
no, I know. My sister finally comes home, and I'm telling her what's going on. And I don't know what to do. My mom finally chills out. My grandfather calls back. A couple hours pass by. Bro, I'm 10. I'm a fat kid. I made some hot dogs. I fucking boiled them in the fucking the pot. I'm walking up the stairs. And my sister conveniently walks out the door of her room right when I'm walking up the stairs, and my mom's in the hallway. And she dropped. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I go up to her, and I'm holding her in my arms, and I can feel her. She's losing her breath. She's not conscious. I'm telling my sister, I think she did it. And the fire department comes. And they're like, what did she take? We're like, we don't know. They take her, come to find out she ate rat poison like hours before.
Oh my God.
And I remember that week because I picked myself up every day. And I went to school like nothing happened because I couldn't say anything because they told me not to say anything. And I ate it. And I said, it's fine. And they told me she's in the hospital. I didn't even know what that meant. Come to find out later on, she was in Butler. And I'm never going to forget when my friends asked me, where's your mom? I'd have to tell them, oh, she's on vacation. And when she came home, the first thing she decided to do was lie in my fucking face. Because she told me, I promise you I'm never going to do that again. What a fucking liar. So, with bipolar disorder, you have a bad habit of running away. It's part of it. I had the same habit. It also, with the borderline, you use it as a system of attention. You say, I'm going to run away, or you actually do run away to gain attention. My mother, after that, got real bad at this. She'd already done it a few times before, but she started making it a habit of packing her shit up, getting in the car, and just driving off without nobody, just leaving. And again, I'm still young. I'm like 11. Yo, and it's really fucked my pops, bro. Like, I look back to the things he did to me, bro, and it was so gross. Because I'm never going to forget the day that he told me, go talk to your mom. She likes you more. Get her to stay. Because she was mad at him. She's fighting with him. Mm-hmm. So I walk up to the car. I'm crying. I'm begging her, yo, please stay. I don't want you to leave us. And she tells me, why would I stay with you? At that point, she broke my heart. And I lost all love for her. And whatever relationship we had nothing to do with love. It had everything to do with fear. I was just afraid of her. She broke me so bad, I was terrified of her. I was terrified of doing anything because I was afraid that she'd like respond back. And it's funny because if you'd ask Marlene, he'd tell you I was a good kid when I was in Bridgem. You ask Vic, be like, yo, I was a good kid when I was in Green. I was a good kid when I was in classical. I never like started anything with nobody. I never fought anybody. Mm-hmm. Yo, it was because I was terrified that if I did something, I was coming home to the devil herself. So I'm gonna just take the L. Like, people need to understand, while this is all going on, my father's on the sidelines doing nothing. He's not getting her help. He's not caring, because in my father's eyes, yo, at the end of the day, she's still making me dinner. She's still cleaning the crib. She's still cleaning my clothes, so I don't care. Mm-hmm. I got the minimum that I need. I'll endure everything else, even though we were suffering. And me and my sister used to bitch at him. We're like, bro, like, this chick is like losing it. Do something about it. And he was too afraid to do anything. He's like, nah, I'm not going to do that, because he was so afraid of losing the comfy lifestyle he had. He just wanted a woman to cook and clean for him. That patriarchal bullshit cost me my childhood. So I really was sitting there, and I started to really resent him, because I'm like, bro, why aren't you not speaking up for your kids? Because I'm telling my story. People do not understand what my sister went through. It's so much worse than me. My sister had to raise me at this point. She's a kid herself, bringing me everywhere, taking me everywhere, buying me everything, teaching me how to act, how to behave, how to speak, how to talk to people. She's teaching me how to be a human being while she's still growing up. And yo, to add insult to injury, my mom, this was the crazy thing about her. Throughout this story, I'm gonna give everyone in their stories props where it's deserved. My mother always, when I did something good when I was young, she'd always show love. And I was doing the bare minimum because I'm still enduring her pain. Like the shit she was putting us through, I'm reacting to trauma. I had early onset, like my therapist explained it to me, with bipolar disorder, you see signs at 7 years old. Mm-hmm. At 7 years old, it was already clear I had it. My trauma was just accelerating it. And I was struggling in school early, but when I did good, my mom would like go all out. Yo, my sister was putting up Jordan numbers and my mom didn't give a fuck. So my mother's spitting in her face while she's doing her job and raising her kid. And I feel for my sister every day for that. So then we get into, we're going through middle school. Middle school's ass. The kids get meaner. They were already mean in elementary school, but they're meaner in middle school. Because you need to understand, when I was in middle school, elementary school, when I was growing up, my mother and my dad had no bread. Mm-hmm. They used to, when I needed clothes for schools for the whole year, we had $200. Those $200 would buy you your shoes and your 6 fits, and that's it. Me and my sister. And you get one coat for the winter, and that's it. So I don't got crazy drip. Everyone else did. Or majority of them did. And niggas would bully me. Now, obviously, everyone gets bullied. Like, that's life. Now, imagine you go home. Ooh, this is gonna hurt. Imagine you go home after being bullied all day. Niggas picking you first in the roast circle. And your fucking father's making fun of you. Oh, my dad loved doing this. My dad loved shitting on me and my sister. My dad used to, I can't tell her story. Let me not. My dad used to shit on me so bad, bro, about my weight. He'd walk in and call me disgusting. He'd be like, oh my God, a whale just came in. I start running. He'd be like, oh my God, it's an earthquake. Bro, I'm fucking 12, bro. You don't think I hear this shit at school, bro? I got you flaming me about my weight, not defending me when your fucking wife is wilding. She beating the shit out of me, and this is what I got. And then I gotta go to school, the one place where I don't have to deal with you and still get cooked the fuck up. Are you kidding me? Oh, and if I don't bring good grades, then I'm gonna get fucking smacked the fuck up. That was the kicker of it all. Like, how do you care and then don't care at the same time? How broken are you? So we hit high school. And this was interesting. And I know you guys are going to remember this. Remember when they used to say Noel has phases? That's a part of borderline. Borderline has a problem where people go through these phases trying to find their identity. And it's funny because Mr. Kasha knew I had it and he never told me. He knew I had borderline. He kind of hinted at it once and I didn't really understand what he was trying to tell me. But it's not his place to diagnose me. But he could tell I had borderline. And
Mr. Kasha was the guy who looked like Caillou?
yeah, because he was a psych professor. He taught AP Psych. And he hinted at it once, but he never said it.
Looked like Caillou.
Nah, he did look like Caillou though.
sorry,
That,
I'm
yo,
sorry.
if Mr. Kasha, if you're seeing this,
That
you
was
still,
my boy. That was
yeah,
my
you
boy. I
you
love
probably
him.
still look like Caillou though.
Yeah.
So that's my boy though. But I could tell like he probably knew something was wrong with me. So I'm flipping through these phases, and people think, oh, Noel's just flipping through phases, and I'm like, looking back, I'm like, yo, this was really the borderline.
Yeah, because everyone would say it, but no one, especially as kids and young adults, we didn't know what the heck that was. There was like no word to it. People are not taught none of this necessarily in school at all. You know, especially if you're not even really interested in psychology and the whole concept of the mind. You know, very much you don't really hear about it. So ignorance is, you know, full. There was a lot of ignorance. People would be like, oh, that's just Noel going through his phases, or Noel, you know, that's what's going on. But instead of realizing like, oh no, he needs help. This is a potential, you know, this is, you know, borderline
problem.
disorder. This is a disorder. This is an illness. This is something that, you know, signs of trauma. But obviously now we can look back and realize that that's what it was.
And it stunk because, you know, it got bad. And I'm gonna hold on to that, the bad part. Let's talk about high school. So after I lost the weight, I remember something happened. I'm not gonna say the name. Someone had made fun of me. This is the day that I told you guys I want to kill myself. And you guys remember, I was smoking weed. You guys would tell me, yo, bro, you don't have to smoke weed. Like, you don't have to use drugs. Like, niggas thought that was a phase. No, that was me coping with my mental illness and not having a proper way to deal with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, that day, yo, this is insane. So after you guys had waited outside of Miss Bess was a school psychologist.
Classical high school?
Yeah, classical high school. You know, all the guys were out there when I walked out and we talked, whatever. I went home. This is the only time my dad did something good for me. He actually stayed with me all day. He took me with him to work the next day and he tried to cheer me up because I was dead ass. Like, I wanted to kill myself. And this is the craziest thing about it. Everyone thinking my weed phase is a phase. Some of the people, yo, it's crazy. Some of the people I told about how I wanted to kill myself thought this was just, your little suicide is just a phase. I remember when my mom got home, because she was in DR when this happened. When my mom got home and heard what happened, she locked the door behind her. She got in my room and she said, don't you ever in your fucking life tell another person you want to kill yourself. She got up and she walked away. At this point, I'm crushed. And lady had already went to college. So the person who was defending me all these years and there for me all these years was gone. And I'm not going to lie to you. I brought this up to my sister a couple weeks ago. I resented her for leaving. Because she never came back. Bro, barely ever. I'd have to go to her. I had to go to Brown to see my own sister be up and down, all the way to downtown because she didn't want to come home. Yo, my sister moved to fucking Colorado to escape these niggas. When I tell you her pain was insane, it was insane. And it was especially my mother. And I'm telling my sister about how I want to kill myself. And, you know, she's trying to help me, but it's not enough because she's just so busy with her own life. At the time, I was like, fuck this bitch. I thought you was my nigga. What happened? I was so heartbroken. because I thought I got slimed again. How many more people do I have to love who do me terribly? And the trauma was just so bad at this point, I didn't even realize it. Now we're at 16, 17. Yo, when you guys would tell me as friends that you loved me and cared about me, I could never say anything back because I was tired of the people that I felt that way to throwing me away. And I didn't understand why I couldn't say it back. To this day, people go to hug me, and if I don't see it coming, I flinch so hard. You guys, and this is why I'm going to feel bad once we get to the end of the story with you guys. You guys treated me with so much love, and I just didn't know what to do with it. Because I never had that. Lady didn't treat me with that love. Lady just protected me. I never thought of Lady as love. I just looked at her as the person I'm supposed to go to. So now we're going to talk about the third worst day of my life. And I know you guys remember this day. I'd gotten caught smoking weed when I was like 15. My mom lost it. I'm not even going to talk about that story. This is fast forward. At this point, my mom had already went to Vic's house and lied to his mom, which is still crazy. That you're right. I did block this story out. And I remember after you told me that, I confronted my mother about it. And she admitted it. She's like, yeah, I said it. He was selling you weed. I'm like, where did you get that? So my mother had went to Vic's house and told his mom that he was selling me weed. And I couldn't even believe it because I'm like, who would ever create that much of a delusion? And then I thought about it. I'm like, yo, this happened literally last week. My mom wanted to throw my dad out because she thought she saw him at the store with some other girl. Like, she's just delusional. That's part of bipolar. That's part of borderline. You're delusional. You make stories up. Yeah. Because she's so paranoid and she's so delusional. There's severe psychosis. So she's creating this shit. And so all that shit had already happened. Our friendship was already starting to fuck up. And this is when it got real fucking wreck, is when it's my 16th birthday. My mom's bugging out on me in the car, calling me a drug addict, that I do this and that. I turned up on her. I'm like, yo, fuck off. Suck my dick. I don't give a fuck. You're annoying as hell. Like, it's both our birthdays. Why are you acting like this? Yo, she got quiet in the car when she was driving me to school. I should have known right there something was wrong. When she picked me up from school, she was quiet all the way back. I come home, my shit's packed up. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I'm throwing you the fuck out. You wanna be a fucking drug addict? Get the fuck out of my house. And this is when real niggas really show you that they're real niggas. I told the chat. Eric immediately called me and said, yo, you could come to my house and stay with me. I told my other boys. They pulled up. Manny, my mom was about to run a brick through his window. He drove off because he had to, because she would have run the brick through the window. She walked outside with the brick. She comes back inside. She said, pack your shit up. I want you to walk wherever you gotta go. No one's coming to pick you up. I'm gonna make sure of that. So I go upstairs. I finish packing my shit up. This is what I mean. She had a state of psychosis. Like, she lost it. She grabs a bat and she tries to swing on me to kill me. She's screaming, I'm gonna kill you. I locked the door behind me. I'm praying to God. I did the whole prayer because I'm Catholic. I'm not a practicing Catholic anymore, but I was raised Catholic. My sister raised me in a Catholic church. I was baptized, confirmed. So I'm doing the Mary prayer and the Holy Father.
We had Catholic
classes together.
Catholic classes together, me and Noel.
Yeah. So I'm in there just going crazy, praying to God I don't die right there. I don't even know why I'm praying to God I don't die right there. I hate my life anyway. I wanted to die anyway, but I don't know. In that moment, I just didn't want to die. And then out of nowhere, she stopped. She walked away. And I'm arguing with her. I'm like, bro, it's my birthday. Like, why are you doing this to me? And she's like, because I fucking hate you. You're a piece of shit. All you do is cause problems for me. I want you to fucking die. And my dad comes home And this day room ass nigga goes on her side, bro. Like, I'm like, yo, you gotta be kidding me. Like, he's literally defending her. So I call my sister and I'm like, yo, where are you? I need your help, this and that. I didn't know this at the time. My sister had recently broke up with her boyfriend. His name is Carlos. Carlos, another real nigga. You're gonna hear why. I guess she was going through it. She told me, Alex, this isn't my problem. I got shit to do. That broke my heart. I never felt so alone in my life. Because not only did the people I thought that would help me weren't helping me, the people that could help me couldn't help me. And I'm like, damn, what the fuck do I do? I never felt so lonely in my existence. There's other points recently, but we'll get to that. But it was that, in that moment, I was like, damn, like I never felt this alone before. And then out of nowhere, bro, my sister's ex, despite all that they're going through in that moment, came to my house. He heard what happened. He sits down. We tell him. He took me out to eat. And he's like, you shouldn't have to go through that. He still got a photo that he took that night. And I'm like, bro, you broke up with my sister and you still came all the way here to do that for me. Like, that's some real shit. And it seems like every time I've endured some bullshit, I've always been shown there's a way to be human. But it takes time to learn lessons. So he did that for me. All that shit happened. My mom's still bugging. Life is still hard. I'm just trying to get to school, go to college, and never see that house again. But there's something interesting happen. So that part of the story, you're rooting for me. You think, damn, like this nigga was down bad. I promise you, you're not gonna root for me with this part of the story. So it's 2018 at this point. Okay. It's 2018. I'm with my ex. I started losing it. And I think I started losing it because something finally woke up inside of me. Before, I was always scared of my mom. I never did anything shiesty. I was never on bad timing. And I actually did forget one part, ending the story of us. The reason why I let you guys leave my life, because I remember too, you and Eric were talking right in front of me, and you said if he wanted to speak to me, he'd come up to me. I couldn't. Because I didn't know how to deal with love. I didn't know how to deal with a loving person being mad at me for a legitimate reason. I was so embarrassed. Marlon called me. I don't know if he told you, but he called me before you guys dropped me for real. Mm-hmm. And he told me straight up, like, yo, I don't know what you doing. I don't know why you out here with these niggas, these white niggas. I don't know why you, like, trying to be on this time of being a lit nigga and being out all the time.
Marlon's not racist, by the way.
Yeah, he's not racist, by the way. He sounds racist, but he's not. But like Marlon really packed me up, and I just ate it, and I ate the whole situation. The reason why I ate the whole situation and didn't care was because I cared, but I like ate it and just allowed it to happen was because I was just used to it. I was used to people who loved me, treating me like garbage, leaving. I didn't know how to treat them correctly. I didn't know how to be a good person, and also, what you guys were against was the one thing making me believe I was feeling better. Mm-hmm. Niggas was mad because I was always partying, putting myself in dangerous situations, doing drugs, drinking. Nigga, I was doing that shit because I felt like I was on top of the world. That was the only time I felt like I wanted to be on this earth.
Yeah, it was your coping mechanisms.
Yeah. But we're too young to understand. Everyone's too young. We're just living. Bro, that house on 47 Alexander Street, I'll give you the address. I don't give a fuck. That's not my house. So that house is legendary. That house has had too many parties. I've been partying in that house for the last 10 years of my life.
The cops know that house by...
For multiple reasons. Yeah, by first name. For multiple reasons. So, like, I'm in that situation, and I didn't see you guys as loving friends who wanted better for me. I saw you guys as the people who wanted to take away the only thing keeping me going. Mm-hmm. And I was so fucking manic at that point. I was so fucking bipolar. And here's the funny thing. I wish Eric was here. Eric could speak to this. Somebody made a joke. Why does Noel always do his homework in the morning? and miss class to do homework.
Yeah, you do it every day.
Every day. Every fucking day, right?
Every day.
There was a reason why. I was manic all night. All night. Oh, my bad. All night. Bro, I would go home, crash for 3 hours, wake up around 7. I'd be up from 7 to 5 a.m. Have to wake up to go to school the next day. I would not get a single assignment done. It would take me 4 hours to get one assignment done. Got pacing around the house, doing math shit. And you know what's so funny? I was convinced I was lazy. I was like, nah, I'm a lazy ass nigga. I'm not determined enough. I'm not working hard enough. That's why I keep doing this. I used to smack myself in the face to stop, and I just couldn't. I didn't know what was wrong with me because I literally could not stop myself from just pacing around the house and doing random shit. Because that's part of manic episodes. Manic episodes when you're up at 4 a.m. doing random shit. And I'm failing these classes, barely getting by, stressed as fuck because I know I'm smart, but I just can't, like, it's not representing itself in the work. And I don't know what's wrong. And I'm thinking it's me and I'm hating myself for it. And come to find out I was just bipolar the entire time. And it broke my soul. It literally broke my heart. It made me feel like such a fucking idiot. When I got into URI, I didn't want to go. I was like, bro, I don't want to go there. Like, I don't even know what I want to do in my life. I feel like a failure. I remember I almost failed AP Physics. I almost didn't graduate. I almost didn't cross the stage. And it felt even more embarrassing because I remember I got voted with Angela to be most successful in our class. It's like, to see myself struggling to succeed, bro, and I can't explain it. And the niggas is telling me that I'm going to succeed. I'm like, bro, this doesn't make any sense. So then, now we're in 2018. Because somehow, some way, by God's choice, I figured it out. With college, is different. You can bullshit for 6 hours and get an assignment done. Like, everyone who's been in college knows that. I was getting shit done. I got good grades. I graduated summa cum laude at the end of it all with 3 degrees. Thank the Lord and Savior. It took longer than it was supposed to, but I did it. But when I got to 2018, bro, and I thought I was doing well, I was doing nonprofit work, I was helping the community. I met this, I already knew this shorty. Me and this shorty became together. My life began to spiral out of control. And I think it started because I started defending myself against my mom. My mom would say something to me, I'd be like, yo, shut the fuck up. And it was when I told her to shut the fuck up and she stood down one day, I was like, yo, she's not the boogeyman I thought she was. Because you need to understand something. My mother was the boogeyman. My mother got jumped when I was 15 by her 6 brothers in DR and walked away and told the story. She still walks by that hood and tells them to suck her dick. She don't give a fuck. My mother, I had to testify on her behalf at court because she got arrested twice. They broke that door down like the fucking feds and locked my mother up because she beat on my cousin and my uncle. And when she was done beating on them, she broke their windshields. There's one other thing she did that was super illegal, but I'm never going to talk about it.
Yeah.
But she's her. Like, I know she's crazy. I know she's about it. So when I finally stood up to her, I was like, yo, fuck her. Fuck everyone. Fuck everyone that used me as a punching bag. Fuck everyone that treated me like dog shit. Fuck everyone that talked crazy to me. I'm gonna show you what I'm on. I'm gonna show you the shit I'm on now. I'm fucking tired of you niggas. Cause that was the thing. People used to talk to me like I was a bitch. Like I was just some soft ass nigga. There was people who respected me and showed me respect constantly. Like you guys. Some of my other friends. Even my friends that are from the streets. They showed me respect because they saw that I went to school. I stuck to it. I was working towards something. They respected me for that. But it was these loser ass niggas that didn't know themselves, that to take out their self-hate and their frustrations with themselves onto me, it just built up so much anger in me that once I finally stood up to the boogeyman and I was like, bro, I ain't scared of nothing. I'm not scared of nobody. I just started spiraling. I'm at the gym 5 hours a day. I'm yelling at my ex, treating her like trash. I'm horny as hell. I'm gonna admit to some things that I have never admitted to. When I was with her, I used to, it got to a point where I was basically like, yo, like I was coercing her into sex. And that's wrong. You should never do that. My sister raised me better than that. But in the moment when you just have that manic rush and you just have so much sex drive in you, you're like, fuck it. It is what it is. And it was so ironic because I'm in school, right? And I'm losing my mind. But I didn't go to work. Like I didn't work that much. My ex was holding me down. I'll admit to that too. Again, full transparency to everything that happened. I'm putting her through hell. I'm out here trying to fight random niggas. Bro, we argued on 4-day, me and this nigga. I drove up to Chad Brown and I fought him in front of his mother outside his house.
From a Fortnite battle?
Yes, a 4-day.
Oh my Lord.
Bro, my manic episodes were getting chaotic and dangerous. And I was just doing whatever the fuck I wanted. And my friends were concerned, but no one ever really like checked me on it. So that 2019 hits, I remember this, it was the week after spring break. I'd gotten a bad grade in school. Now, if you're hearing the story at this point, you're noticing something. I'm sounding a lot like my mother. And that's the ironic thing about it. I went from enduring so much with her to becoming exactly like her. Mm-hmm. And this was the thing that I wanted to avoid, and I'm going to speak on that. And I just didn't. It just didn't happen. So in 2019, I'm in econ, because I'm an economist, philosophy, and political science major. I was in econ with McIntyre. McIntyre had given me a bad grade, like a C- for a paper. I went home. I'm driving down the road. I almost drove my car into a tree. I called my ex. I'm like, yo, I'm going to kill myself. I can't do this. And she's like, oh my God, I'm coming right now, because she lived down the street. So she walked over. Mm-hmm. We went to the hospital. This is my first inpatient. So I went to Rhode Island's lifespan psychiatric program, day program. That means you're there for 6 hours of the day. Now, when you're there for 6 hours of the day, they have you do a bunch of shit. They have you do classes where you're talking about different methods to deal with your problems. They focus on behavioral therapy, so it's how you change your behavior through therapy, how you change your outlook on your existence. And then we're doing group sessions. So the group sessions is all young people. Bro, I'm hearing stories from so many fucking niggas, from so many different people. And it was also in the group because we technically had group sessions where we were learning different methods. And those group sessions, it was everybody. Bro, there was old people in there. There was young people. There was rich people, poor people. I need you to understand something. Just because you suffer from mental illness, that shit does not discriminate. What did Pusha T say? Ask Steve Jobs, wealth don't buy health. Yeah. That's the same thing with mental health. Fact. I don't give a fuck how rich you are. I don't give a fuck how old you are. That shit can hit you at any moment. And there was people in there, like older people saying, I want to kill myself because I feel like I have nothing left to do on this earth. There's young people saying, I want to kill myself because I can't deal with this anymore. And I don't feel like going further is worth it. There's poor people saying, yo, like, this life is miserable. There's rich people saying, yo, I feel mad empty and nothing fulfills me. Mm-hmm. Like, it was across the board. Everyone has something different. And when I met with the young people, it was crazy because I felt seen. Like, yo, someone sees me. Someone sees me for the condition that I have. And someone, you know, we're sharing an experience together. I'm not going to lie to you, though. There's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't see every single one of those faces to some extent at some point in my day and think like, yo, did they die? Because it was that real. Like, I've heard like, there was niggas in there that were on pill like 15. And here's the thing about pills. They use different like chemicals, and like if that chemical doesn't work, then that knocks out 10 pills. So you only have like 5 other options. There was this one dude, he only had 3 options left for medication. If one of them didn't work, that nigga was on suicide attempt number like 3 or 4. He was like cooked. And I'm gonna get back to him. I swear to God he was gonna die. And that shit hit me all the time. I be seeing some of them when I walk. When I walk the streets, like I'll see one of them going to Whole Foods. We can't talk to each other. We're binded by contract. I can't even interact with them. But it's like, damn, my nigga, like, I heard your story. Like, are you okay? Yeah. Like, are you fine? Like, did you finally overcome it? Like, are you still going through it? Because I gave a damn. Because I understood. But you can't say shit. You just have to eat it. And you just have to pray for them. So that was my first time. I got out. Everyone there told me, don't go back to school. Stay in the program, fix your life, get everything together, and then go. I was desperate to get out. I was desperate to graduate in 2019. I go back. Basically, what happened? About a month later, I went back to school and everything. I was already there for a month. This is actually crazy. A lot of people don't know this story. I had an episode in URI, in the econ floor in Chafee. I knocked over the tables. I was fucking losing it. McIntyre was there. My other professor was there. They were watching me lose it. They called the police. I told the police officer, I said, take that gun out, put it in my mouth, and pull the trigger. I don't want to be here anymore. And I cried and I begged him to kill me. And it was because I was so stressed out about graduating. And they handcuffed me. And I keep screaming and I keep begging for them to kill me. They take me to the hospital that's near URI. Mm-hmm. I get put back into the partial program. I'm embarrassed because I thought I was good enough to be out, and I forced it out, and look at me here, back here again. So we found a plan. I ended up walking the stage. And I had to finish my degree over online, finish the assignments,
More
whatever.
credits?
Yeah, I had to I had to basically finish it up on my own outside of class. So after I graduated that summer, I ran a political campaign with my boy Jason. I managed it. It was for Pedro Espinal. We won. Now that gave me confidence because I already got confidence from school. I did so well in school, but to be able to manage something that I could call mine and do well in it, I was like, yo, I know I can. If I work hard towards something, I can get it done. I can accomplish something, bro. I was 20. Jason was 22, I think. Mm-hmm. We won a political campaign in South Providence. We took on 3 other people. We was hyped. We're like, yo, we can really do this shit. It's our first campaign. What the fuck do we know about running campaigns? Mm-hmm. So then, we're riding that momentum. On the sidelines, my relationship is deteriorating with my shorty because I'm not taking my meds, and we're gonna get into all of that and why that was happening. But she's pissed, and she's like, you're acting more violent, not physically, more emotionally violent, more angry, more aggressive, and, you're being more dismissive and more disrespectful and more belligerent, sounding a lot like my mother. So we get to 2020. This is where shit gets crazy. So, and that's my point. You don't just build up to suicide. It takes a lot to get there. So
yeah, 100%.
2020, I helped my boy run another campaign for this guy named John Gonsalves. He's a city councilman for the East Side. Yo, the day of the election, my girl's going to New York, right? She's I think she was going to Chicago, actually. She went to Chicago with her cousins. I had FaceTime her. I thought she was in somebody else's car. I was convinced it was somebody else's car. I'm telling myself it's somebody else's car. I think she's cheating on me. Mm. The reason why I was thinking that was because she had asked me for a break a month before, and I convinced her not to do it. I manipulated her to stay. So I'm already paranoid. I think she's cheating on me. I'm blowing up her phone. I'm calling her all the time. Yo, who you with? Who you with? Who you with? Who you with? Sound familiar, right? When I was younger, my mother was convinced my father was cheating. She even got into a car accident the day before Thanksgiving. She crashed because she was driving in the rain. She crashed into somebody trying to find my dad cheating. You think these women are crazy with cheating? No, my mother is the embodiment of insanity. So I'm literally mimicking the behavior I saw my entire life. And I'm like, yo, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? And I see nothing wrong with it in the moment. I'm just acting off everything. The paranoia, the psychosis, this idea that I saw something that wasn't there. Mm-hmm. So, okay. We win that campaign. She comes back. She wants to break up with me. Now, this is where someone with borderline becomes real manipulative. When she told me she wanted to break up with me, I told her, if you leave, I'll kill myself. Another trick my mom uses. Whenever you threaten my mom with leaving or giving up on her, she threatens to kill herself. So it was funny, too, because there was one suicide instance that I didn't talk about. And it happened in Kasha's class. I was in Kasha's class. I got a text message from my sister. I'd been waiting for it all day because my mom had ran away 2 days before. My sister had texted me and said, Mommy tried to kill herself. The reason why my mom was so pissed was because my dad was threatening to leave.
Yeah.
And when I saw the message on my phone, all I did was laugh. Like, I laughed at the idea of my mom wanting to kill it. Like, it was insane. I just laughed. I couldn't stop laughing because my sister had written, she tried to kill herself, but she failed. She tried to kill herself with the gas in the car and it didn't work. And it was just so funny to me. Like, you fucking idiot. And I thought it was such a stupid reason to try to kill yourself. And then look at me here, threatening to off myself because of that. And I took it to a farther level than my mother did. So I'm trying to fix the situation, but I can't. You can't fix the situation because you're mentally ill and you're not getting treatment. And the root cause of the problems in the situation are you. It's me. It's literally just me and my problems and everything that's wrong with me. My obsession, my paranoia, my inconsistency, my mood fluctuations, my personality shifts. Like, everything is my fault and I have to get legitimate treatment for it. And, you know, my ex is like, just take your medication. And I'm struggling with that because I kept drinking. Like, I continued to drink, bro. Like, I was just 2020 is when I really became an alcoholic. I kept drinking. And the funniest thing is, you know, in the 2019 URI graduation, Robert Kennedy spoke for the graduation speech. Robert Kennedy has bipolar disorder, and the speech was about mental health. And he talked about how he was addicted to drugs and alcohol and how he has bipolar disorder. And I'm crying in the crowd. I walked up to him and I told him what's going on in my life at the time. And you know what's the first thing he told me? Don't you dare drink. Stay away from it. I didn't listen to a word that nigga told me. I got drunk that same day.
Damn.
And I just kept drinking. I kept getting worse. This is where the story gets bad. I bought a gun illegally. Bought a registered strap because I was convinced she was cheating. So I'm going to just blow that nigga's fucking head off. I'm fucking God. I don't give a damn. And oh, fuck. Okay. And I'm not in the right state of mind. Everyone around me knows that. Nobody knows what to do. They're just letting me go through the motions. I keep breaking down. I keep fucking getting angry. I keep making suicide threats. I went to Butler in an attempt to get her to stay. I told her, if I go to Butler and figure it out, would you stay? I went to Butler for about a week. I got a funny Butler story. I was telling Victor I'm going to tell him. So when I was in Butler, there was a schizophrenic. And the nigga would never shut the fuck up. He used to always yell and scream.
And for those who don't know, Butler's a
mental health
institute here in Rhode Island, located at East Providence.
Yeah, so this schizophrenic, he's this big white guy. He's just bugging. And one day, you know, we're eating lunch, and he's like talking out the window really loud. And I look at him, I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like, yo, shut the fuck up, bro. You've been fucking talking all day. And he looked at me crazy. And he smiled. And I was a little scared. Yeah, because here's the thing. So in Butler, in all psych units, you can't lock your doors. They force you to leave your doors open. People come in late at night repeatedly to check in to see if you're okay. So I'm thinking, that nigga go open my door. I'm gonna wake up to his hands around my neck. so I kept the plastic fork under my bed. I was like, that
scary. I would be fucking shitting, bro.
Bro, I was so fucking shook because I'm like, nah, this nigga's not getting me like that, bro. I refuse. So Bro, I went. I'm not going out like that, bro. I'm not going out like that. Not by.
His hands could have been somewhere else. Who knows,
Nah,
man?
bro. Yo, why Marlon got me mad nasty with it, bro? You're mad wreck for that, bro.
Keep going. No, keep going.
So that Butler experience was crazy. In Butler, you don't meet the niggas you meet in Partial. Butler's the real deal. Like, these are the threats to society for real. And I knew that I was a threat to society. Like, these are the people who are liabilities. Like, there are people in there, bro, that, like, are struggling. Like, real talk. There's also people there that I've given up, and that's why they're there. And just talking to these people, hearing their stories. Because, bro, here's the thing about Butler. About any mental health institute you go to, there's only one TV, and you have to share it with everybody. So everyone has to get a turn with the remote. And when you sit in there, all you can do is watch TV or sleep. You be talking about some real shit. And you hear about people's lives just fell apart. And I want to get back to that later. I want to be able to clean up this story completely. So Butler, I get out. I'm still wilding. I still have the gun. I'm threatening to shoot people. October, we break up of 2020 because I got arrested again. This is a crazy story. So I told her, let's hang out for your birthday. She said, I'll let you know. She never let me know because she was already so distant that she was done with the relationship. I got manic. My personality shifted. I grabbed the knife. I went up to my dad. I pointed the knife at my throat and I said, I'm going to kill myself. And then I said, actually, give me the phone. I'm going to have the police come here so I can point a knife at them and they can kill me. So I called the police on my pull-up. Police come. They had me surrounded. I have the paperwork on this, and you're going to find out why I got the paperwork. So there's 8 cops surrounding me. The fucking sergeant was there. This shit was crazy. These niggas are tased up, all pointing at me, and I'm already like manic and hot. I didn't want to kill myself no more. I want to fight. So I tell him, I took my sweater off, and I'm like, yo, get in the fucking line right the fuck now. I'm going to fuck every single one of you niggas up one by one. I'm fucking God. I was ready to fucking scrap with these niggas. I was down so bad. But they were like steadfast. And I'm crazy. Like when I'm crazy, I'm crazy. I start telling one of the white police officers, I know you're racist. Just shoot me. You want to do it? And he was just looking at me. Calm face, everything. I said, bet, let me go grab the knife. If I point it at you, you shoot at me. They grabbed me so fast. They tried to tackle me on the floor. I picked them up off the ground. And I have like 4 niggas on my back because I'm just on pure rage. And then they're like, yo, tase this nigga. So I'm like, nah, I'm not getting tased. So I accepted the arrest. And like, I'm bugging in the back of the car. Bro, when I got to that hospital and they opened the door, I head-butted the first cop I saw in the stomach and tried to run off. It was like 7 of them holding me down, locking me up. Them niggas, yo, there's actually a bomb brother that knows me and knows everything I went through because he worked security. And every time I went there, he was there.
Really?
And he had to strap me down every time. And I'm in bond. So I just thank God that he never spoke on the situation.
That's a URI fraternity.
Yeah, so he knew. And he was strapping me down. Calm as fuck, as if nothing was going on. As if he didn't know. And like they would like strap me for real. So that night, here we go. I ended up back in the partial program. No, I'm lying. I ended up at Jane Brown. This is where life comes full circle. At Jane Brown, I met a shorty who was married to a guy I knew in the community. When I saw her last name, I'm like, you're his wife. She's like, yeah. She was my psychiatrist. Jane Brown was crazy. She was the first person to diagnose me with borderline. Everyone thought I was bipolar. That's it. And we're going to get to why that's so significant later. Jane Brown happens. We get to 2021. I'm trying to still be with this shorty like a fucking dumbass. I'm still trying to convince her to give me a chance. Everything spirals. 2021, February. I want to say it is. I'm losing my mind. I basically understand that relationship is done. I'm obsessed. I don't want to lose her. I'm so caught up in the situation. I put my gun in my mouth. She worked at the mall. So I'm in the mall parking lot with the gun in my mouth. I pulled the trigger. The gun jammed.
Jesus.
The next month, I went back. Cause I was so fucking like cooked in the brain that I didn't understand what the fuck just happened. I ate it and I moved on. I go back again. Same situation. My nigga, the gun jammed again. It was a different gun too. I had bought a second gun. It jammed in my mouth. The different gun jammed in my mouth.
Oh my God.
So I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm still in the motions. I'm not processing anything that's taking place. We get to April. I had a big like mental breakdown. My boy Jason and Justin and Jason's wife Heidi try to help me out. I end up getting arrested that night and a restraining order is put against me by the girl. Mm-hmm. And that situation really taught me a lot because, you know, I get the restraining order on me. I'm like, damn, what the fuck? I don't know what to do. You know, I'd gotten arrested. I got sent to the hospital. I got out the hospital. Restraining order comes. I go to court. The judge did not want to hear a word I had to say. The restraining order stuck. It's for about 3 years. I still don't learn my fucking lesson. Because again, I'm in a state of psychosis. So, from April to, I tried to kill myself in August. Yeah, end of August. End of August, I'm still hitting her up, still trying to talk to her. She never reports it. I showed up to her job. She never reports it. I got banned from the mall, though. We get to the mall attempt. This happened because I just thought everything was over. Mind you, at the time, I'd lost 55 pounds. I was back in school trying to get 2 more bachelors. Like my life, if you look at it, seemed all right, but I'm still losing it. And I get to there's just one day, I don't remember what happened exactly. I just lost it. And I said, you know, I want to kill myself. So I went to the park. I call the suicide hotline. Don't you ever in your life fucking call the suicide hotline. I've called them 3 times, and I guess this is a normal thing. I've seen this on the internet. I've seen it on Reddit threads. The suicide hotline people are not actually trained therapists. I don't know if they've changed. Someone told me they did. But at the time, they weren't trained therapists. They're paid like $15 an hour. And they like, if you got angry with them, they will bully you and like get mad at you back. So I'm like distressed, telling the woman, I'm going to kill myself. And I start yelling, and the woman's like, don't you dare yell at me. Who do you think you are? I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I banged it on her so fast. I had a thing of Tylenol with me. I took about 18 Tylenols that sitting. It took me about 20 minutes to do it. Bro, the room is spinning. Everything feels dizzy. Mind you, before that, I had tried to stab myself in the stomach. I failed so bad. That's just harder than you think. But man, don't ever try to stab yourself in the stomach. That's just somebody else has to do it. You need enough force to want to do it. So everything's spinning. I'm in the park in Reservoir. That's right over there with the basketball court. I see niggas hooping. I thought I was hallucinating. I'm like, damn, niggas is hooping at 3 a.m. It's the summer though. I want to hoop with them. But like, I wasn't in the greatest of shapes. I might have lost 55 pounds, but these niggas was like shirtless and like mad, like built. I was like, nah, these niggas look mad good. So, you know, I'm like losing it. And I get to the crib. I call my man Johansel, who was down with me the entire time. He stood by me the entire time. Johansel is like, bro, are you fine? And I'm like, yeah, I didn't tell him the truth that I'd taken that much pills. I go to bed, like I'm laying in my bed and I'm like, I'm gonna die. I go to sleep right now, I'm gonna die because I had taken the overdose limit. So I accepted death. I closed my eyes. My nigga, I wake up the next fucking morning alive, bro. My cat's just staring at me, bro. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is happening right now, bro? I'm on suicide attempt like 4, nigga, and we're still here. What is happening right now? I'm hot. So I run over downstairs. I call my therapist. I tell him, you know, I tried to kill myself. It didn't work. And he's asked me how I feel. Like, I'm feeling good. And he's like, oh, well, what? This nigga's fucking stupid. He fucked up. He actually broke the law. I tell him I'm thinking about, I might just jump off. I might jump off the mall. And he's like, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm like, oh, no shit, Sherlock. But he's like an older white guy, so he was stupid about it. I've had a bunch of providers. He was one of my worst ones. And I tell him, if I do end up doing it, I'll give you a call. I didn't call that nigga. So that's when I made the post. You need to understand, like, I was dead inside. By the time I got to that, by the time I got to that mall, I was gone. There was nothing left in me. I had no emotion. I had no soul. Like, I woke up that morning and I was already dead. It's just I was still here in the physical. But my soul was dead. And like I was doing things that I didn't even feel like I was doing them. I felt like nothing was happening. I felt so gone, so soulless. So the idea of jumping off the mall, everyone's like, oh my God, he's going to try to kill himself. He's like, no. I'm going to try to finish what I started back in February. Mm-hmm. So I get to the mall. And I remember I posted where I was. And the only reason why I did that is because I didn't think I had my ID on me. And I knew if I landed splat, I was afraid they wouldn't be able to identify me. And that'd be the worst thing for me if I just died and no one knew where I was. So I was like, fuck it, I'll post this and I'll jump. I post it. Post a photo. I'd posted the thing saying goodbye. I get on top of the ledge. And all I hear in my head, the first thing is, yo, gang, you're going to live. Like I felt that in my soul, you're going to live. If you jump, you're going to live. And my immediate reaction was, then why am I here? I want to die. And I didn't know what to do. Because if I skeeted off, I didn't know how else to kill myself. I didn't have any more guns. Because in the state of Rhode Island, if the police build a strong enough case against you, they could take all your firearms away against you. It's called a extreme risk protection order. I have one out against me. That's why I told you guys, I have the paperwork on every time I lost my mind and the police were called. I have proof that all of this happened. And so I didn't have any guns. I didn't have, the pills didn't work. I had this feeling if I jumped, I was going to be a vegetable, and I lived the rest of my life in misery. So I was up there for all that time. And the funny thing is, I kept thinking, like, I want to jump. And one time when I told myself I want to jump, I heard Marloon screaming, yo, get off. And Marloon had pulled up on the highway.
Yeah, I stopped traffic and everything, bro.
Stopped traffic and everything with his fucking dog in the car. He didn't give a fuck. That's some real shit, though. And I couldn't believe it because at the time I had considered you guys in my head because of the narratives I created in my head about everything. I thought you guys considered me your ops. So I'm like, damn, if one of my ops is telling me not to kill myself, I can't kill myself.
Yeah, because for reference, for those who don't know, this was, one of the saddest and one of the saddest and one of the scariest days of my life because this was the day, like he said, that he made this post. So think about it as, for reference, background information. It's one of our friends that, especially me, I was very close to, but then hadn't talked to in almost 10 years. Like, it was a while, and because of the differences of, just not understanding him and not knowing, feeling like he wasn't necessarily a good friend, feeling like he had a lot of trauma, and, I tried what I tried to help at the time, and then I just ended up giving up, right? And then years later, the scariest moment ever is seeing on Instagram, people sending me DMs and like, yo, did you see, I think it was Tiana, like, did you see Noel's post? And people telling me like, did you see Noel's post? And I think I didn't even follow him at the time. And he's like, in his post, you literally see him like on the ledge, like, literally the location where one would go potentially to jump off, the ledge of the parking lot of Providence Place Mall here in Rhode Island. And everyone knows that location, like it's a famous location from the highway, where it's at. And then everyone began flooding the group chats. I was telling all the guys, I'm like, yo, I think Noel is potentially attempting to kill himself. Like, let's try to do something. I'm going to try to do something. And I drove to the mall, and I was amongst the first people there, on the second level, and we were blocked off from going up to, like, the top floor from the cops were blocking people off. And I was like, well, this is really happening. Like, it felt so surreal. Like, this is insane. Like, a friend of mine is potentially about to die, and I'm here, and I can't do nothing. I felt so hopeless. And it was like, you know, it was literally like a scene out of a movie. But instead of it being a movie, obviously, it was real life. And I remember calling Marlon. I'm like, yo, are you on your way here? He was like, yeah, I'm on the road. I'm like, yo, you know, if you could try, you know, there's a area on the highway from where I could see that if you drive there to that specific area, you know, you could probably see him. Because from inside the mall, from inside the parking garage, we couldn't see him, but we felt like the area where the police were locating him to be at, you know, right above us. And Marlon did it. Marlon drove right there in front of where, looking at Noel, and I was technically below him. And then I was telling him, yo, just yell at him, you know, do something. And then we have that moment, literally, Marlon yelling at Noel.
Yeah. So from my side, when Victor texted the group chat, I didn't process it. I was playing COD or some shit like that, and I looked at the text, but like it just looked like as if someone took like a sunset picture or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, what? I was like, okay, what? So then I read it and I'm like, yo, Noel is trying to kill himself or some shit. I'm still there sitting and trying to process this shit. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, for real, what the fuck is going on? I get in my car and I'm still sitting there. I'm like, yo, is this shit for real happening right now? I'm like, what the fuck going on? I'm like, I would never think that I would I'd be in this position. I was like, and I haven't talked to this nigga in a while, bro. I was like, fuck it, yo. I was like, fuck it. So I'm driving. I'm on the phone with Victor. I'm like, yo, you see this dude? I was like, do you see him? He's like, nah. He said, but this is... So I'll get on the highway. But I'm like, I passed it. And that's when I spot you. I'm like, okay, the closest way that I can get to him and shit like that, I have to get on the fucking highway as if I'm going towards Pawtucket on that fucking merge. So I get on that merge. That's the highest point on the fucking highway. I get out the car. I'm stopping fucking traffic. And I see this nigga with his back towards me. So I just start yelling at him. I'm like, Noel. I'm like, don't do it, bro. I'm like, don't do it. I was like, whatever you going through, bro, it's not fucking worth it, bro. I'm telling you. And my voice starts cracking and shit. I'm like, yo, this shit's for real. I'm like, I'm really here in this fucking position right now. I got the fucking cops yelling at me from like the second floor of the fucking thing. And I'm still yelling at this nigga. And then he finally turns around and he looks at me. But he doesn't say anything. So he turns back. And the cops are still yelling at me. So I get heated. I'm like, I'm yelling at the cops. I'm like, instead of you motherfuckers worrying about me, I was like, why don't you go up there and try to get my fucking boy from stopping from fucking jumping? I was like, what the fuck y'all doing on the second floor either way? Why the fuck aren't you up there? So they get in the fucking car and they start driving up and shit like that. And I'm still yelling at this nigga. And that's when I see like 3 state troopers just flying down the other side of the fucking thing. I was like, yo, I'm gonna get fucked.
They were looking for Marlon.
Because during that time is when I had that, what was it that I had?
The firework.
Yeah, I had a
warrant,
like a warrant, some shit like that, like for 1 year, because of fireworks and shit. So yeah, it was crazy. But I went to court and everything, and they said that if I were to be caught with some shit, I was gonna go to jail and I was gonna have to pay for like bail and shit. So the more I see the cops come and shit, I just dip out. But I'm still on the phone with Victor. I'm like, yo, like, what's going on? This and that, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm trying to see if I can go up there. His sister just showed up. This and that, blah, 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 blah. And I'm still driving around and shit like that. But I'm hitting back streets and shit like that because I can hear the sirens of the cops. So I'm trying to, like, not fucking get caught and shit. But I'm still around the area in case I have to go again to the, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then as I'm driving, that's when Victor tells me, like, oh, he's like, I think they got him down. I think I just saw him pass by, like, in a cop car, this and that, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm going to ask this cop, whatever. So that's what happened from my side. That shit was...
Yeah, that was, you know, like I said, one of the craziest, saddest days of my entire life. And even in our perspective, that was what happened for us. But then, even then, the cops, misinterpreted it or whatever, and there was reports.
Oh, yeah.
There was reports on police scanners that
wow, yeah.
Marloon,
That I was telling you to jump.
was telling Noel to jump. They were saying that
they
there
were
was
putting that shit all over Twitter.
They were saying that there was a man antagonizing the jumper to jump. So then I was getting mad at them. Like, okay, they're misinterpreting it, But it was like those pages that just report what they hear on police scanners. So that's what the police were reporting to each other on the police scanners. But obviously that wasn't the case at all. But yeah, then now going back to Noel, and from his perspective, even being there and then continuing on the story of that actual attempt.
So I thank you guys, and I appreciate you for caring despite everything that had happened. After the fact, that really meant a lot to me. And, when I was standing up there, I felt nothing. I was dead. There just wasn't any life left for me to care about. There was things happening that definitely started to wake me up, but I was still kind of lifeless. Ultimately, they bring Lady up, and because you weren't the only people I saw pull up. Like, I saw Chowder pull up. I saw Brianna pull up. I saw Al pull up. Like, I saw a bunch of people just showing up for a quick moment. But then, when my sister came up and she started to speak to me, and, she distracted me long enough. And it's funny because what my sister told me was, when I saw you up there, I literally saw absolutely no life in your eyes. And it was like, yeah, I died. Like, I was done. And they caught me because I'd been talking to my sister, and I was so distracted that they tackled me to the ground. And this is what really showed me that, like, I was dead inside, was when they tackled me, I felt nothing. Maybe you feel anger because you wanted to end it, or relief because you secretly didn't. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel either. I was so indifferent. I didn't know what to do. So, they throw me in the squad car. And it was actually Michael Falai that told me that you guys had pulled up. And that's when I wanted to meet with you guys after to talk about everything. So, when I'm in Rogers, it was an interesting experience. I met a lot of different interesting people that I'll briefly discuss later. My experience is Inpatient. And this story is so, like, long and filled with so much fucking drama. I had actually been in the partial program for lifespan 6 times in 3 years, which is unheard of. But that's what it was. And then this is my 3rd time inpatient. And I remember my mom coming in to visit me and basically saying, what the fuck are you going to do? Like, I don't even know what to do with you anymore. And that hit me because it's like, damn, the person I consider the craziest person in my life is telling me this. Mm-hmm. So I get out of there. And before I got out of there, I heard something interesting that I didn't know. The psychiatrist there said, what do they have you on? I said, Lamictal. He said, why? I said, I don't know. And he said, that's one of the weakest drugs that exist for antipsychotics. That was the only antipsychotic I was taking for my bipolar and my borderline the entire time. We're going to get back to that point. So that happens. I get out. I get a new psychiatrist, new therapist. I'm meeting them. I met with you guys. 2 weeks after meeting with you guys in my basement, I got arrested. I violated my restraining order and I pulled up to my ex's house. Now, they didn't take me to the prison where they were supposed to, the holding cell down in Providence. They took me to the hospital because when I got to the holding cell, I started screaming, I'm going to kill every single person here and then I'm going to kill you. So they dragged me to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, they had to hold me down. And when they held me down and they tied me up, I was able to get a hold of one of the police officers' guns for a quick second. The way he jumped out of fear because he saw what was going on was insane. Like, I really was about to, like, blast him and everyone there. I was just done. I was so pissed. I was so amped up. Like, I was just so enraged. I stayed in the hospital overnight. They hit me with 2 shots of morphine. The first one didn't knock me out. They needed another one. So I wake up and they arraigned me. I see the judge. All this shit happens. I hop out of the jail. Like I get out of the jail. I mean the jury, whatever it's called. The place. I forgot what it's called. So I get out of there. I'm walking down the street. I gotta go home. My cell phone's dead. So I don't have a car. So I see a random police officer. I'm like, hey, do you want to take me home? And he's like, I know you. Man, how do you know me? He's like, you tried to kill yourself a couple weeks ago. I was there. I said, bet, bro, take me home. So I hopped in the car. And he wasn't the first officer to know me. I guess 4 other officers during that whole process knew who I was. Because they either went to my house or they were there the night at the mall. So I get to the crib and, you know, my mom takes the police officer. She talks to me. We chop it up. She's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. At this point, I'm just dead inside. I hate life even more than I did before. Not killing myself is not working. And I feel like God is taunting me. My psychosis is out of control. I don't understand what's reality anymore. And I'll explain that statement later. So I make a Molotov cocktail. I made 2, actually. I get out of the house. I'm walking out. I was going to set her house on fire. And then I was going to set myself on fire. And again, honesty, transparency. I'll be completely honest. I had no idea what was going on at this point. When I'm walking out, my man just got out of his car. The thing about my house is random people show up if they see my car there, and they just pull up and hang out. So he saw my car, he wanted to check up on me. He sees how lifeless my eyes are, and he sees the Molotov, and he's like, bro, what the? He smacked the fucking fire out of me, dragged me downstairs, and he tells me, you know, what's going on. We talk about it. And I never told anybody this part of the story. Never, because I was just so embarrassed. And he tells me straight up, he's like, call your psychiatrist and your therapist tomorrow and see what happens. So I call my psychiatrist. I tell her straight up, I don't know what to do. Jail is trash. Because I sat in waiting cell. I sat in the holding cell for about 4 or 5 hours after I left the hospital. I never want to do anything like that, especially with other people. You know, jail sounds like ass. The hospital's ass. All of this is ass. And I don't know what to do. And, like, I don't want to hurt anybody, so what do I do? And she says, honestly, Noel, after everything you just told me, I'm going to put you on lithium. Or I'm going to inpatient you. And for those who don't know, lithium is an insane drug. It's like one of the most powerful antipsychotic that exists. It's literally a mineral that like goes inside your body, and it corrects brain chemistry. They don't know how exactly it works, but it works. She put me on lithium. She put me on 900 milligrams, which isn't that much to start off. So I get on it. And she's like, by the end of the second week, I want you on 1,200. That's 4 pills of 300 milligrams. That's an extreme amount of lithium. But she's like, your case is too severe. So she has me on it. Yo, those first 3 days, I was peeing like fucking crazy. My side was hurting. I felt like yakking. I felt fucking terrible. I was dying. I didn't tell her though. And my boy wondered, one of my mans was like, why would you not tell her like you're going through all this? And I'm like, it worked. Nothing before that worked. It finally worked. Yo, when I tell you I grabbed the fucking wheel for the first time in 3 years, and I said, finally, yo, like that feeling. Because here's the thing, lithium is not like any other antipsychotic or any antidepressant or any other medication. It takes 7 days to work. Most of them take a month. 2 weeks. This is 7 days. I got to day 3 and I felt it kicked me like a mule. And I was like, yo, I never had that much clarity in so long. I was willing to lose a kidney because if you have too much lithium in your body, you could destroy your thyroids and you could have kidney failure. I was willing to have kidney failure if it meant I could feel this way for the rest of my life. Because I had felt like dog shit for so long. So day 7 finally came. The side effects geared back. I still feel terrible sometimes. I still feel like throwing up some days. I still get crazy, crazy thirst. I have to pee bad a lot. But I don't care. Because it's that one moment. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Because after that, 543 days since the last time I've been inpatient. 543 days since the last time I've had an episode. I've been going to therapy once a week, every fucking day, every week since. And the reason why is because I always told myself, and this is where I'll take full responsibility. In 2019, they offered me lithium, my first provider, and I said, no, I'm not doing that because I've heard horror stories about it. My sister told me, take the fucking drug. It works. They put me on Lamictal instead. Lamictal is dog shit. The Rhode Island healthcare system failed me consistently. I was on the same antipsychotic. You witnessed me continue behaving the same way and you kept putting me on the same drug. Why would you do that? It took one provider to be like, yo, this shit don't work. This drug is trash. Take this one. When I told you I got diagnosed in 2020 with borderline, even though I've been going to therapy since 2019, from that time I got diagnosed with bipolar to when I got diagnosed with borderline, everyone told me something else was wrong with me. Everyone told me, yo, this isn't just borderline. Bipolar. This is something else. Something else is triggering you and we don't know what it is. Because you have these moments of just complete anger and frustration. And there was just no resolution. There was no attempt to fully understand. And I just kept getting thrown around. And it made me hot because I'm like, damn, bro, like my life is getting delayed here. And I'm not the only one. There's people in the system that are just getting fucked up. Their lives are just getting delayed because you keep fucking failing them. If you'd given me lithium 3 years ago, I wouldn't have a fucking record, bro. I wouldn't have to see judges. Like, do you understand? This is a crazy story. I thought she was cheating on me with one of her friends. I'm not going to say his name, but we all know him. I'd followed him from work and I knew where he lived. After 3 weeks of knowing his schedule, I caught him in traffic. I had my gun on him. I hopped out the car. I was going to kill him. I was just going to air the fucking car out and leave him dead. I didn't give a damn. A police siren went off and it woke me up in the moment. Once I realized the siren wasn't for me and he was going the other way, the car was already gone. He didn't see me jump out the car. I almost killed somebody. And because it wasn't just about me killing myself. Other people's lives were in danger. And the entire time, people are telling me, yo, no, you don't want to change. You keep going through these cycles where you say you're going to do all this work and you do the work and then you fall apart. Yeah, you want to know why I'm falling apart? Because the fucking meds didn't work. The meds were never working. Because there was multiple conditions in hand here. It wasn't just bipolar, it was the borderline. And the borderline is so strong, it needs different type of things to deal with it. And there just wasn't an effort to treat it properly. And just imagine how I felt in this fucking tornado of emotions. And what made me so mad is that people really thought I wanted to be this way. Yo, my psychosis got so bad, I started seeing things. I literally started seeing shit. And it's not unheard of. Starry Night, which is Van Gogh's one of his greatest paintings, is a manic hallucination. He hallucinated the night sky when he was in the hospital and he painted it. Kanye has talked about his hallucinations constantly and people brushed it off. And he calls them visions. No, nigga, you're manic. And we know it. I've heard stories in Butler of niggas like, yo, when I'm manic, I see shit. I was so down bad, my nigga. I was literally seeing shit, niggas telling me I'm conscious, that I'm aware of what's going on. If you don't piss me off like that again, you think anybody wants to wake up and be this way? To be this violent? To be this out of control and this deranged? To be this emotional? To have their personality shift? That's why I said we can't just have a conversation about depression. The depression is just one part for a lot of people. And that's something we can't control either. And society's accepted that depression is not something we can actually control. We can work to make it better. But there's other shit we can't control either. And the reason why it's just not, people just can't accept that is because there's this delusion that we are in full control of our lives. That it's up to us to decide what our life looks like. Yo, sometimes, my nigga, your body gives up on you. The same way you can get cancer tomorrow, you have no choice over that. The same way you can get heart disease tomorrow, you have no choice over that. This shit life is gonna hit you with, you have no choice. You just gonna have to fucking eat it. So throwing people away because you can't understand what they're going through, the same way I've heard stories of niggas we grew up with getting schizophrenia and we throw them away. The same way I've heard stories of niggas getting bipolar like me and we just throw them away. That shit ain't fucking fly, bro. Because if your boy had cancer tomorrow, you'd shave your fucking head. Because you support him, because it wasn't his choice. It's the same way these niggas with mental illness, it's not their choice. And that was the biggest frustration that people, I'm trying to have people understand I don't want to be this way. And then that other side of me will kick in and just play into it and be like, yo, fuck it. Fuck these niggas. Let's show them a monster. It's hard. It's never going to be easy. I truly feel like a burden, regardless of how much change I've made. Because I was a burden back then when, you know, I felt like a burden. People say I wasn't, but I was, and I truly felt like I was. When I was losing my mind, I remember one day I had a manic episode in the summer of 2021. Bro, my nigga Juan, salute to him, in his off-white fours, chased me down the street because I was trying to go to my ex's house, drunk. He tackled me, had me scraped up. My boy Glow, you ever heard that Bobby Shmurda song where he's like hopping over cars while I shoot? They think that I'm Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. Bro, this motherfucker is Tom Cruise. This nigga jumped over the car, bro. This nigga Johnson jumped over the car, chased me down. I told them both, throw your shits up, I'ma fuck you up. Imagine your boy tells you he gonna fight you. And they kept their composure and they said, bro, we're not fighting you. Because they didn't see me as like some nigga who has mental health issues. They saw me as a friend that was sick.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We don't correlate mental illness with sickness.
Yeah.
We correlate it as like a lifestyle choice that you can make better if you just make certain choices. Fuck that, bro. It's a sickness and sometimes you can't cure sickness.
Yeah.
That was the hardest thing I ever had to learn when I was an inpatient. There's some of them niggas you can't save. There's other niggas you can. And there's other niggas who can save themselves. And there's other niggas who just can't save themselves. And it's a matter of just accepting that in life. And that was such a hard pill to swallow because I was like, damn, am I going to be a nigga that can be saved? Or am I going to be a nigga that's just going to be here for the rest of my fucking life? And I remember praying to God, lonely as hell, in Rogers, thinking, please, if you're going to keep me on this earth, make it worth something. And I have to thank God because I worked hard. I didn't allow society to make me feel like the monster they try to paint me to be, that other people try to paint me to be. I knew who the fuck I was from day one. Even in our situation, I knew I wasn't that person deep down. My sister raised me better than that. I treated you that way because I didn't know how to handle the situation. And it's funny because that situation taught me you stay solid to the day you fucking die because you never want to feel that way when you snaked out someone you love. And when it came to like being consistent and just working and doing what you need to do, this whole situation taught me if you actually want it, once you're in the proper state of mind, once you're in control, once you have control of the bull, it's up to you now to actually want it. And that was the thing I realized. I've always wanted it. I was just never in the right mindset to ever be able to get it. So now I live my life like that. I'm never going to give up again. I'm never going to hit rock bottom again. I just can't. Like, my nigga, imagine just feeling that again. Rock bottom multiple times. You're in the dirt. Your life is ass. Your entire existence has been plagued with abuse and trauma. And now you are the exact demon that you were raised by, that tormented you. And you have no clue what to do. You have two options. You can just embrace that fucking role of being a monster. You can just fight to be something better. And I'm going to keep fighting to be better. Because I have a reason to do that. I finally realized I need to stop taking from people. I'm done taking. I have to give back. I have to be there for my friends. In my basement, I've heard so many stories. I've had so many people break down and tell me shit because they felt like I could relate to them because of the shit I've been through, the shit they've seen me go through. I got boys that have lost their mothers and they were raised by this street shit. I got boys that have had niggas dying in their hands. I have boys that don't even know what they want to do with their life and feel like they're worthless. I got friends who grew up with mothers just like mine. I have to do it for them because they're still out here. They're still trying to figure out what to do. They hit me up every day trying to be better people. So why the fuck can I give up? That's not fair. And the biggest thing too is my sister. Yo, my sister stood there the entire time through everything. I'll give her the world. I'll give her anything. Because me and my sister do this thing where we're really going through it. We call each other. I never want to get that phone call again. I never want her to have a reason to have to call me again. Because she don't deserve that. And, you know, if you're watching this, find your reason to keep going. Hold on to that shit and just push through. And when niggas fucking doubt you, bro, and be like, what if you relapse? What if you become that person again? What if you do this or that? You know what you fucking tell them? It's not gonna fucking happen. And when they ask you, how do you know that? Because I fucking said so. So if you're not gonna come in my face and give me advice on how we can progress and be better, if you're just gonna be fucking hateful and hide your hate with concern, then suck my dick. I don't need to talk to you. That's that negative energy that does nothing for nobody. I already lived through that. I don't got to keep going through that. So that's my story. That's my voice.
Man, no perfect ending in my opinion. You know, you said everything. That was your story. There's no any questions either to ask, to be honest. You know, I would say you kind of gave the last words there, but maybe, again, to reiterate, because that's the purpose. I want people to remember the purpose of this conversation, in my opinion, is to actually provide some relatability for people out there who might be going through this, and also provide a information piece for people that might know about this but not, or don't ever, or have not ever had any examples, you know, to take from and learn from more. You know, you have questions, and this is a living example of someone who has literally attempted suicide, you know, 5 times, you know, attempted suicide and attempted to potentially even kill someone else, you know, ruin his life. Even though that's not a suicide, that's still a way to be interpreted as a suicide, because you would be, you know, in prison for life if you were to kill someone. So you would have literally killed yourself. You would have killed your existence. You would have killed your legacy. So you can say he's attempted suicide more times than you can count on in one hand. And he's here to live and tell his story, to live another day. And, you know, we're grateful for him to be here because he is one of our friends. You know, he's someone that we care about, we love. I love you. You know, I've told you that multiple times. I care about you, and, you know, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to hear that ever again. I never want to go through that experience ever again with anyone, let alone you know, getting that phone call, getting that text, getting that message of, you know, Noel, your friend, he's committing suicide. He's attempting to commit suicide. He's on the ledge. He's about to jump. You know, I never want to go through that ever again. And I hope out there in the world, you know, people that just don't go through it. And at the same time, it's inevitable. That's the thing. We want to wish for that to never happen, but it's inevitable. So for those who might have experiences with people who, you know, have tried, or you might feel like they're, you know, veering towards that path, remember this story that this man shared today and acknowledge the trauma and the illness that he's experiencing and has gone through and is currently living in. Because I think that you hit the nail on the head with everything you said. The idea of mental illness, you know, comparing it to an actual, you know, disease. People don't think that there's no similarities just because it's not cancer, just because it's not, you know, visually, you know, making you look sicker. People might think that, oh, he can change that. That's just nothing. What mental illness? But it's the second word in that phrase that needs to be highlighted. Illness. It's an illness. So treat it like one, you know. And also the idea of hurt people. Your trauma is something that, you know, has caused you to cause trauma onto other people. So I think that's just key things to highlight overall. You know, everything happens for a reason. If you see someone going through something, instead of necessarily laughing it off or making fun of it or brushing it off, ask yourself or ask them if you can, what is going on? What is there a trauma? Is there a reason? Did something happen to them as a child? Did something happen to you as a child to cause your actions right now that are traumatic? 9 times out of 10, or to be honest, 10 times out of 10, yes, something happened. It's trauma, you know. And again, I just appreciate you, brother, coming in today to the studio, sharing this to the world. You know, I know it takes a lot to talk about this, especially on camera, because you don't know who's watching. You don't know how many people's watching. You don't know, how can it get interpreted. But at the end of the day, I think it's a story that you went through. You have every right to share it. And fuck however it gets interpreted. At the end of the day, you know, just pray for the best, you know. And I think it's God's timing. I've wanted to have this conversation for a while, and we had it today. So
thank you, bro. And, you know, I appreciate you having me. I think it was an important conversation. And, you know, I just want to highlight what you said. Like, I'm not who I am right now just because it was given to me, you know. I ended up with 3 degrees, like I said. I work at a bank right now. I'm a banker. I'm trying to buy a house. Like, I'm doing things in my life. I'm trying to progress. I lost 30 pounds. Salute to me. I was very happy about that. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, these things only happen because I made a concentrated effort to get to that point. And it took day after day after day. I just said it. I'm on day 540 on my medication. I'm not even including the years where I was fucking up, and then the years that went untreated, and the years I put people through pain. So, like, understand at home, the first step is just seeking help. What comes after is a necessary patience, because it might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, and it might not be the day after that, but one day you're gonna finally get to feel that feeling I felt of control. When you get to say, I'm in control now, and I get to decide what happens with my life. Because being in that tornado for so long is just so depressing. And no one deserves to be in that tornado.
There we have it. Amen. And that's Cap, Club Ambition Podcast. Love you guys, everyone out there.
They gon' love me for my ambition.